I do see it going on Periscope. Facebook and D Live. Going live and going strong. And of course, YouTube and Twitch should be live shortly. Hey, still surviving on Twitch. Not as big a target as JLP. That's cool. So I squeeze through because they don't like anything true being said on Twitch. They hate it. So they call it hate speech because they hate my speech. What's up, everybody? It is the Hake Report. I am James Hake. It is Tuesday, 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Standard Time. And it's November 17th already, 2020. And the election is still not decided. It's still undecided. And I heard that President Trump or his team are trying to get Pennsylvania, a court, to stop Pennsylvania. You know, there's like this dumb woman who's in charge of the Pennsylvania election counting or whatever, ballot counting, from certifying the results. Because as long as the results are not certified, they have a better chance to call them into question, overturn them, audit them, investigate the shenanigans. There was like different treatment given to different voters in different areas. So the people in Democrat districts were allowed to so-called cure their ballots because they turned them in wrong, whereas the voters in Republican districts, they followed the law and weren't allowed to do it. You get it right the first time or you don't get it in. It doesn't get approved. Stuff like that. And there's a whole lot of mess going on. I have some info, even more info than I gave you during Hake News for the Jesse Lee Peterson show today, about Dominion. Dominion is this voting system software. Somebody called in about it before I even knew what it was and said, you know, I'm hearing word that there is shenanigans going on with this Dominion voting software. They're possibly changing votes and stuff. And then I hear this she seems like a totally down-to-earth lady. Although what she's saying is like pretty brazen election fraud, if it's true. This is Sidney Powell lady, who's a lawyer for the Trump team, right on to her. And she's calling out, saying Dominion is like a Canadian company that helped Venezuela pull fake elections so that Maduro would win, and the guy before him too. I forget what his name was. Some evil communist dictator guy, right? And now they're doing it here in America, according to what she says that a sworn affidavit signer, a witness, said. Crazy, huh? And on top of that, they said that the government, you know, the DHS, said that this was the most secure election in U.S. history, right? November 3rd, which is a total joke. We all know that's not true because they let them, like they mailed out ballots willy-nilly to everybody, including dogs and cats and dead people and illegals and anchor babies. They consider them American citizens, right? But we don't. Like, come on, let's be serious. The Dominion stuff is massive, says Ghost Murdoch. Yeah, it's crazy. And so they use the DHS statement, but they're on a council or committee something that feeds info to the DHS, you know, elections oversight thingy. It's crazy. And on top of that, they got a donation from the Clinton Foundation. They have some Pelosi staffer on their thing. It's just mess. I have some information about Jacinda Ardern. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Is this female, is she president or prime minister? Prime Minister of New Zealand. What's wrong with you, New Zealand? Man. She was caught saying globalist dog whistles, right? Anti-American, anti-New Zealand, anti-human, anti-white, anti-male, all kinds of mess. And her cabinet, you know, her team of fellow so-called leaders inside of her administration, females and POCs and all kinds of LGBTQIA stuff, and they're not like decent-minded ones of those people, of any of those people. They're a bunch of liberals, commies. And I have some information about a link between anarchism and communism. You hear about it with the former guest of mine, Vosh, and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, I have to get started with the show shortly here. I do want to touch on the fake news, social media, and Harry Styles is not the only sicko. Nasty. I shudder to even think about sharing this picture with you, but you're probably going to see it. Brace yourselves. But anyway, let's get on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how is it going, everybody? You can call in as well, 888-775-3773. I have some of you guys on hold already, and I will be getting to you. I know, it's disgusting. I'm seeing the the throw-up emojis and different things. Yes, it's gross. That was... Did you recognize that person?
Which was the guy?
Yeah.
I didn't know from the name.
Okay. Yeah.
Asking the black guy.
Yeah, I had to ask the black guy in the room if he was familiar with this, because I think that's a rapper. Kissing himself. Disgusting. Those of you who are listening on the podcast or the live audio feed, I'm not going to show it right now. You can check it later. I mean, I don't even think you want to see it. I will describe it for you, but not in too explicit of detail. It's just gross. Some black adult male kissing a black adult male, but it's himself, you know, photography, Photoshop trick or something like that. But it's disgusting. Horrible. So, before I get to calls, I wanted to explain, and this is something that I wanted to get to in Hake News, but I didn't have the chance. And I will get to your super chats as well. Thank you to LL Cool Nate. Appreciate it. New Zealand. By the way, I am wearing my awesome flag t-shirt. It is cool. It is the Confederate flag or Confederate battle flag or some other. It's actually, I think the Confederate battle flag is the square version. This is just the one that people like to fly who love the South. And they pretend, oh, yes, J180, that's Lil Nas X, who kissing himself. But people hate, there are people hating on the South and whites and old school Democrats. The old school Democrats, I dare say they're not as bad as the present day Democrats. The present day Democrats who hate this flag are worse than the old school Democrats who loved this flag, according to what we're told, right? In history. Those Democrats back then, some of them may have been Christian. They were, you know, our brothers in the country. Brother against brother, wasn't that the Civil War? How can you hate those people? There are American veterans. And it's a disgrace. The people who are, just look at the people who are in the forefront, you know, the public figures who are hating this flag. Ta-Nehisi Coates. He's a disgusting Black Lives Matter supporting son of a Black Panther. Not that that means anything about his own character, but he didn't get any better. He got worse than his dad, you know? just this disgusting person who hates white people, hates blacks, pretends that he's about what's right, and he's not at all. And then this woman, Nikki Haley, former governor of one of the Carolinas, right? I can never keep those Carolinas straight. Sorry, Carolinas. She was governor and got rid of this flag after Dylan Roof committed the terror attack, trying to start a race war in that black church after going to a Bible study with them. And they were so nice, he almost reconsidered doing it, but he shot them because he flipped out because of the lie of that he was constantly told. He discovered he was lied to, and then he betrayed his country and betrayed what was right. He was raised badly. Druggy kid. Didn't have his father with him. A mess. But because he was seen in one picture flying waving the rebel flag, they're saying, oh, this is a sign of hate. This is hate. No, it's not. You think all those people who fly this flag at NASCAR rallies, before NASCAR cucked and said, oh, you can't fly this flag because it's hateful, it's divisive. It's caving and pandering and kissing up to black hatred and liberal hatred of America and the southern decent white people. And black people, by the way. There are many blacks who also love this flag. But not that it matters, even if it was only whites. Why are you going to hate the whites? It's scapegoating. So right on to the South. I love the South. And you should too. Kind of like I love boomers. If I love anybody, right? Thanks, Bubba Wallace, after over a pretend news says, take care, Business Bear. Yeah. These sick people. So I wear this as a sign of love for my fellow Americans. Right? So New Zealand is also gone the way of NASCAR, which is to say that they've betrayed what's right and betrayed decency, honesty, and love for fellow man in order to kiss up to women and LGBTQIA madness. CNN reports, and then I will get to calls, that New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, I keep on saying Ardern, Jacinda Ardern is her last name, Ardern, Jacinda Ardern, who's not even married but has a kid, living with a so-called domestic partner, a male. And she was caught saying that globalist, communist, build back better thing, stupid line that Joe Biden said and Boris Johnson said. Yes, even Boris Johnson, who's supposed to deliver Brexit. Is it Brexit? I can't even remember the real word anymore. I think it's Brexit, right? For Britain. Britain exiting the EU. That guy, we always knew that he was a phony, right? I mean, you consider him basically the equivalent of a rhino. Because he hated on Trump, and people pretend like, oh, he's the British version of President Trump. Well, that's only for those of you guys who think that President Trump is a Trojan horse or whatever, is a rhino himself, which I don't think that. I think Trump is genuine, quite genuine. And this guy is not. This guy is a phony. This Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the UK, he's better than, he's less evil than, let's say, maybe less evil, I don't know, than that Corbyn guy, Jeremy Corbyn, I think, and all those disgusting people who with the Labour in the UK, which means socialists, globalist socialists. They want to be part of the EU, which is all of these European countries, and they try to control the people. And then they also usher in all these refugees and more like rape-fugees and all that stuff. He said build back better anyway. And all these disgusting organizations. I watched this video by Computing Forever, and he documented he, just as a side note, mentioned how all these people are doing this lame phrase, Build Back Better, including Joe Biden, this UK Prime Minister who pretends to be for Brexit, and Jacinda Ardern also caught saying it, and maybe the UN or the World Economic Forum or, those disgusting groups that you should have no trust in and you should reject completely. She was reelected last month. Shame on you, New Zealand. I know that there's some New Zealand listeners out there. I don't know if you're listening right now. It is probably pretty early in the morning for you tomorrow. She brought in a diverse cast, according to CNN, of evil politicians. I put that word in there because CNN won't tell you the truth. Making up arguably the most inclusive, which is a commie word. Can you pull up a picture of this Jacinda Ardern? Inclusive parliament in the world. She's like my age. She was born July 26, 1980, right? A little less than a year older than me. She's 40 and dumb. She's the same one who, after the New Zealand Christchurch mosque shootings, it's ridiculous that there are mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand, but that's New Zealand for you. That's typical, like, all European stuff. New Zealand is way down there, over by Australia, but it's the same thing, right? They are surrendering to evil. Such a shame. And yes, it was evil to shoot up the mosque. No duh. By a guy who was, yeah, look at her. She wore what is that thing called? A hijab thing? To kiss up to the Muslims, the poor Muslim victims. That guy murdered a bunch of Muslims, complaining that the Muslim immigrants were making too many babies and causing overpopulation and messing up the environment. He was an eco-fascist, which is to say he's a liberal, but not like these people. And he wanted to start a race war. And he wanted to cause an attack on the Second Amendment here in America. So that we, the sleeping sheeple conservatives, would quote unquote wake up and fight for our lives and then overthrow the commies or whatever. What a dummy. Misguided. But that's some of these accelerationists for you. Accelerationism is when you think, for the normies, right? Because I'm a very normie-friendly show, and I like to be a little friendly to the people who are not normies. That's when they want to start a race war so that we all wake up and fight back, because then that's how we'll win. But that's not how we'll win. We have to be for what's right. And he was not for what's right. He murdered people. That New Zealand Christchurch mosque shooter. Repaying back evil for evil won't work. Won't bring good into the world. Almost half of New Zealand's newly sworn in parliament are females. 11% LGBTQ. That's New Zealand for you. Horrific. Both New Zealand's indigenous Maori? I don't know how you pronounce it. And Pacific Islanders are overrepresented in the government compared to their share of the population. Just slightly, but still. And I bet you most of them are dumb liberals. Otherwise, they would not be celebrating this. And politicians from diverse backgrounds, which is a commie word, are in key positions of power, not just parliament. And 8 of Jacinda Ardern's 20-member cabinet, the highest-ranked lawmakers, are females. Remember, this Jacinda Ardern lady, she lives with her domestic partner, Clark Gayford. And she had a baby out of wedlock. She's 40, like I told you. And she's in that socialist, communist, globalist Labor Party. And that brings me to SOCOM? What's that? Oh, SOCOM, socialist, communist, GLOCOMs. That brings me to what is also supported in the UK as the Labour Party, right? All these so-called white countries some of them are closely divided, like America and the UK. UK voted for Brexit to get out of the EU. They didn't want to be controlled. There they are. That's a non-family. Because she's not married to that dude. He's her partner. Embarrassing, huh? Not only did you elect a woman, you elected a woman who's a dumb, immoral millennial. About par for the course for millennials now, right? Shameful. But I just want to make the point that, you know how people call Antifa anarchists? And they are, but they're also communists. And they say, anarchist is right wing. No. Anarchist is, at least this type of anarchist, is evil. And it's communist. It's pro-labor, Democrat, also rhino. And by the way, the corporatist is also communist. It is. Look at, it's all evil. Like the people that, I don't know what corporatist means, except that corporations in bed with the government and they get too much sway. Look at Facebook, look at Google, look at maybe Twitter. Oh, she's Gen X. Thank you, Brandon M. Thank you. Whew. She's not a millennial like me. That Jacinda Ardern female. So I wanted to tell you about this guy that I read about back in early September. Somehow I came across this, and it's part of this whole thing about labor. They call it the Labor Party, which is a reference to socialism, pretending that the unions, oh, we're on the side of the worker. Yeah, right. Fakers. This came from the Washington Compost, early September 2020. David Graeber, and I have a few screenshots of this guy. He's dead now. Scholar, anarchist, and intellectual leader of, remember this? Occupy Wall Street. Dies at 59. Dead, 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 to quote Joe Biden. And he looks like a white guy. I think he's Jewish, actually. A white Jew. He's dead now. And he was a communist. He pretends that he was an anarchist. His whole point is that, look, he's celebrated by CBS News and The Guardian and communist people. I looked on Twitter, just disgusting people. Look at his snaggle teeth. You can tell he's British. Yellow snaggle. I mean, I don't want to make too much fun, but he got yellow snaggle teeth. That's gross. Commie teeth. Anyway, evil person, I think. I think he was an evil person. He was misguided, definitely. And, you know, this liberalism, this leftism, as Dennis Prager calls it, it's the biggest religion in the United States, I think. Leftism. And I think that's all the same thing as this. It's just, therefore, evil. He pretends that you are probably an anarchist. And he gives the ridiculous, or he wrote this book, right? He's written a bunch of books. His wife, Nika Dubrovsky, said on Twitter that he died while on vacation. Internal bleeding. Scholar of anarchism, which is a society without a form of government, right? And an advocate of it he was jailed during so-called anti-globalization protests. Yeah, right. He was for, you know, he pretends that he's an anarchist, right? But then he's for Jeremy Corbyn. I think he was for Jeremy Corbyn, who was, correct me if I'm wrong, UK people, if you're listening. I know some UK people over here. Jeremy Corbyn, I believe, is that labor guy who's pro-EU. And I think that his whole ploy was, oh, Jeremy Corbyn protects Jewish people or something like that, which isn't true either. They're fakers. It's kind of like saying the ADL protects Jewish people from hate. No, it causes more hatred and resentment and suspicion between Jews and everybody else. Because all they do is go around attacking Christians and whites and smearing them. Sickos. He was a professor at Yale. What a weirdo. But this guy, he wrote this book or essay or something trying to convince you that you are an anarchist because, watch, if you get in a line with a bunch of people getting ready to get on a train, for example, something along these lines, the human nature is naturally going to get in a queue, which is a line, right? That's British for a line. Get in a queue and be orderly and not fight and not steal from each other and not attack each other. That's just natural. Except that he also believes in racism. Because it's not reality when you have uncivilized people in your society who are perfectly willing to cheat and jump and cut in line and steal and rob from you and attack you and assault you and pretend that you're the problem, which is what's happening. So maybe that anarchist stuff might work if everybody's civilized, but everybody is not civilized. And he's pushing, he believes in the LGBT, or believed, I dare say. I'm going to go out on a limb and suspect that this guy was for all that immoral stuff, LGBTQ stuff, he definitely believed in the false notion of anti-Semitism. And he probably believed in that racism stuff. Sicko. And of course, he was for that Jeremy Corbyn guy, who's a globalist socialist guy. What a weirdo. Sick, huh? Sick. And that's what it reminds me of anytime I hear the term Labor Party. I think of people like that. I think of Antifa, who, yeah, they hate Joe Biden and they hate everybody because they're full of hate. They're still suckers for the mainstream media. They might hate the mainstream media. They're still suckers for them, because I guess that's the problem when you are a hater, right? LL Cool Nate gave a diamond and said, anarchist means no rules. Commie needs heavy rule. That's what anarchists do. Look at my former guest, Vosh. Vosh, he wants no countries, no borders, no walls, no USA at all. He's a pro-Antifa, but he's also a communist. He's like a Marxist guy. Same thing. It's all evil. It's by any means necessary. When you bring in anarchy, this guy was he was like one of the top thinkers for the Occupy Wall Street movement, which is the precursor to Black Lives Matter and Antifa. Well, Antifa's been around forever, right? Or for decades. But they weren't in the forefront until they started attacking Trump supporters. But it's all the same. It's all a means to an end. Destroy, 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 overwhelm the system, overwhelm the police, overwhelm the border, overwhelm the so-called healthcare system, get rid of the ability of private companies to say, oh, we don't serve you if you have pre-existing conditions. That's going to be too expensive for us. That's going to break us. And the government says, no, you have to take it. We're going to break you. Then we'll replace you. That's what it is. No rules, heavy rule. It's all a means to an end. It's evil. LL Cool Nate gave a diamond and asks, your 5 key books? The Book of James. I liked it. I was forced to memorize it as a kid. The Book of Genesis. Is it cheating if I use multiple books out of the Bible? Because the Bible's a book, but there are multiple books in the Bible, right? Matthew, Mark, and Luke. There's 5. I don't really read much. I did like The United States of Trump by Bill O'Reilly. It was pretty interesting because I like hearing that boomer thought from Bill O'Reilly, and I like hearing about what Trump is about behind the scenes, which is about the same as what he is in front of the scenes. Fluky Unicorn with a diamond says, anyone being honest knows that Trump won bigly. You know, that's what this lady who I talked about in Hake News at the beginning of, I think, at the end of hour 1 today, and Hake News yesterday, and yesterday's show. This, can you Google a picture of this lady? Sidney Powell, Sidney. Powell with 2 L's. At Sidney Powell 1 on Twitter. Old school lady. Been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Wrote the 2014 book Licensed to Lie. Seems down to earth, seems no nonsense. Says that if John Roberts doesn't want, of the Supreme Court, you know, Chief Justice Rhino, John Roberts doesn't want to take the case of the voter fraud thing, that he should be impeached. She was on Rush Limbaugh's show. Mark Stein was filling in. He's a British guy, but he's, you know, fairly conservative. He's all right, right? And she was on there talking about how this Dominion voter software was made in Canada for the purpose of helping Venezuela cheat on their elections, fix their elections for Maduro to win, and for whatever that guy was who predated Maduro. Was it Chavez? I don't know. Whatever. You know, one of those commie dictator leaders. This is a picture of Sidney Powell. She was Michael Flynn's attorney. She wrote that book, Licensed to Lie, about not just DOJ corruption, but the FBI corruption back in 2014 during the Obama administration. She's been around forever. She's a former federal prosecutor. And I don't think that she just makes up stuff. And I don't know if, you know, her fight and Trump's fight, because she's with Trump, will prevail. I really don't know. It's hard to imagine it happening, you know, because the government, the judges, and the establishment media are so corrupt and sick that it's hard to say that, oh, yeah, she's going to really pull this off. Because many people, including in the government, including so-called judges, don't care about the truth or what justice, you know? So it's hard to say. But she is saying stuff that is pretty shocking. That when they stopped counting in the states, because did you know? You probably do. That in the close to the middle of the night, on election night, they suddenly stopped counting in this state, and then this state, and then this state, you know? In these so-called swing states, in these Democrat cities. Philadelphia. You heard Rick from Hampton call in about it. I think Philadelphia was one. I think Detroit was another. And states and cities like that, black. And we saw blacks cheating on, it looked, they appeared to be cheating. I don't know if they were. But it looked like they were pulling shenanigans, even on video. And we saw them blocking people off from even looking. Poll watchers, which they're supposed to be able to watch and make sure that no shenanigans take place. And how they do that, I don't know. How do you even tell? But I heard that they're not even supposed to have pencils or pens. But yet they were seen filling stuff out, some of them. But she said that when they stopped counting and then suddenly had all these votes for Joe Biden early in the morning, and unannounced started counting again at like 1 a.m, that's the shenanigans that they were doing because Trump was so overwhelmingly winning that they had to kind of recklessly bring in this same proportion of new votes multiple times in like a matter of 20 minutes, according to her, according to something that she said on that show, to make it swing towards Joe Biden, to make him look like he won. And there was no energy for Joe Biden. Nobody liked Joe Biden. There was a lot of anti-Trump energy, so I could imagine that, you know, a high number of votes both for Trump, because there's a whole lot of energy for Trump, and against Trump. I can see a little bit of energy, you know, evil energy against Trump. Brought about more voters, but I think you might be right, Fluky Unicorn. Honestly, frankly, Trump won. That's what I think. LL Cool Nate gave a diamond and said, reparations a possibility for whites, for these countries, these cities that are torn apart by these Black Lives Matter people and the fake victim so-called families. I don't know. They seem to get paid for being destructive and raising thugs. Michael Brown's family, so-called family, right? It's not even a real family. It's a broken family. Raised a bad kid, a bad guy, bad adult, bad young adult, who attacked the officer and got himself killed. And his so-called family got money. If we were to have, I'm kind of playing with your idea about reparations. If we had justice in this country, they would have had to pay Ferguson for, the fake father-in-law or fake stepfather, the mother's boyfriend. Remember that guy was screaming, burn this B-word down, burn this B-word down, after they refused to charge former officer Darren Wilson for doing his job, right? For killing Michael Brown in self-defense over in Ferguson, Missouri. Or Breonna Taylor. She was hanging with the wrong crowd, girlfriends with a drug dealer, ex-girlfriends, really. The boyfriend, who knows what he was up to, but he seems like kind of an overgrown, immature young man. I saw him being interviewed by a black woman who works, I think, for CBS or Good Morning America, whatever, being interviewed along with his mother and presumably his father. And he just seems immature. 20-something years old, mid to late 20s. And this is her boyfriend, the surviving boyfriend. The one who allegedly shot at the cops and shot one cop in the leg. Although at first, according to one cop, he said that she shot at the cops. But that so-called family got $12 million. No, reparations, true reparations, meaning repairing for the harm that you've brought to the community, would be these so-called families having to pay the cities or the cops who got beat up and whatnot. It's ridiculous. There's an officer I've told you about who tried to sue that disgusting, skinny, black, male, homosexual, Black Lives Matter agitator who refused to condemn riots and falsely accused cops and got away with it. Blanking on his... DeRay McKesson, a cop who got a head injury, tried to sue DeRay McKesson for stirring up riots in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Right at the same week that many cops were killed. All over false accusations of racism because... what was it? Alton Nolan? Or I don't know. Alton Sterling? Or Alton... I don't know. Some black guy who was armed illegally and selling CDs or something outside of a convenience store, got arrested, and he had a gun, and they shot him. And the blacks went crazy, as usual, and attacked him. Attacked cops unjustly. And some dumb judge said, you can't sue him. That's his First Amendment right to organize a protest. He didn't know there was going to be riots, even though there's riots at practically every major Black Lives Matter so-called protest. And meanwhile, you have whites who organize the 93% plus peaceful Charlottesville protest, Unite the Right rally. They're being sued and being called, what are they being called? Fugitives for organizing their thing, being prepared with mace, pepper spray and all that stuff, because they knew that Antifa would be attacking. Maybe that was a sign they shouldn't have showed up in the first place, because evil is going to come after you And then the evil that covers it, the media, will lie about it and only pretend that you're the only aggressors when the primary aggressors were Black Lives Matter and Antifa attacking the whites, not the other way around. But they got sued, and many of them are being called criminals and fugitives. And meanwhile, this Black Lives Matter agitator who got cops killed, helped get cops killed and injured, skates. So I don't know I don't know if we'll ever get true, just reparations. Long answer, right? What a mess. But thank you to LL Cool Nate. Marcus Jones Stink says, would the purge be a Solon for these anarchists? What's Solon? Solution. Would the purge be a solution for these anarchists? You mean like that movie where no rules, you can kill each other for the nighttime? I didn't watch that whole movie, but there's been multiple movies called The Purge. And that's where people can go out and kill each other for a night or something like that. I don't know. No. I'll say no, because that's evil. And evil is not a solution to overcoming evil. LL Cool Nate gave a diamond and said, cheating. Yes. Thank you to Cy Locked, gifting a subscription to Dan East. Congrats, Dan East. Appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you very much for waiting, guys. I've kept you on hold for almost 45 minutes. Let me get to Russ in Virginia. He's been on hold forever. Russ, thanks for holding. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. I was about to, my arm was getting heavy. I was about to hang up, man, but yeah.
I appreciate it. I understand and can sympathize.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm trying to be your number one caller. I'm trying to take mates off the pedestal, so I got to do what I got to do.
If that's going to happen, you're going to need a clearer phone because you're kind of breaking up a bit. It's like this.
I can't do anything about that, man.
Can you move to a different location?
I can't move, man. I'm disabled. Well, you don't like when I say that, but I can't move around a lot. So
yeah, you're handicapped.
I'm physically challenged. How about that?
No, I don't like that word either because that's politically correct.
Okay, dude. Okay, I can't live my life according to what you like.
I know.
It is what it is.
Yep.
Okay.
I know, but your phone is
bad. It's hard to move around and stuff. It's difficult. All right.
I get you, man. Well, we'll just hope your phone gets a little better. Otherwise, I'm going to have to put you on hold and have Nick check on you.
No, man. I like Nick. I don't want to type Nick no more, man. I type Nick too much already. He knows me by my voice. That's sad.
Anyway, what's up? I'm warning you though. I might have to put you on hold because this is.
I understand.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Let me put you on hold because it's obnoxious. So Nick is gonna check on you. Okay, just be patient, please. And you might be able to like move to a window or something. Okay, hang on.
No, I can't. I can't. Just do what you gotta do.
There is no can't.
Whatever.
So Nick, check on him, please. I don't know if he was sounding like that before. I kind of doubt it. Nick wouldn't let him through like that. Let me get to Earl in the meantime. Earl from Michigan, my second favorite caller. Earl, how are you doing?
Brain. All I'm doing is this.
Hey.
James Hake.
How are you?
Great, fine.
Thank you.
FYI to Skip from the call yesterday about the move of Walmart to his town.
That wasn't Skip.
And was that Steven? He sounded like Skip.
Yeah, he did sound kind of Southern, but I don't think it was Skip. I know it wasn't Skip.
Steven or something like that. I think his name started with an S, Steven or something like that.
It was Richard from South Carolina. Liberals,
Richard, okay.
Liberals destroying towns and big box stores helping it along. Yep.
Yeah, what he was referring to, what they give Walmart is called tax abatement.
Tax
big
evasion?
companies, when they give 10-year reprieve on paying taxes, or 20 years or 30 years, that's known as tax abatement.
It's known as tax
Walmart's been doing
evasion.
it.
I know, but there's legal tax.
No.
Tax what?
Tax abatement. with an A.
Abatement.
Abatement.
Tax abatement. Oh, thank you, Earl. You're smart.
Of course I am.
Well, you're
I'll tell you that.
knowledgeable. You're knowledgeable. You may be smart, but you're not wise.
Yeah, that's according to you.
Huh?
But you're a wise crack. But,
Touche.
you know, just tell them they've been doing that for the last 20 years to little small towns. So they finally got to his town. That's welcome to high finance.
I think that he's been complaining about this for years because he's seen it going on. It's not just It's not just self-interest that he's protesting against this. It's wrong. He pointed out that when Republicans are in office, including maybe even rhinos, the economy gets better. Businesses start starting up and they start to thrive. Small businesses, rather than these rhino and Democrat policies that favor the big business and just completely get in bed with the government and stomp out the small business. Kind of like what we're seeing with this COVID thing. I'm done.
Yeah, you know, they just do that with big businesses, you know, like, you know, big companies and corporations, they give them tax abatements. For instance, billionaires to finance stadiums and so forth.
Yeah.
To lure them to their town, they offer them tax abatements and everything they can to entice them to locate in their city or town.
Yeah.
But you talked about Brianna and so forth.
Yeah.
You keep trying to sully her name and boyfriend names who had no record or anything, no entanglements with the law, but yet you want to.
They sure had an entanglement with the law on that night.
Yeah, to that law, the law brought the entanglement to them.
Well, she brought them to her.
He didn't. The boyfriend didn't. I mean, they didn't even know the boyfriend was even there.
Right.
So
they should have known.
He had nothing to do, and to disparage him and say he must be a thug because he was associated with her, or she's a thug because one of her boyfriends was a thug. You breaking your own cardinal sin about jumping to conclusions without the facts.
I never called them a thug, but that's if the name fits, wear it.
No, it's not.
I said that he was immature, and I said that she was ex-girlfriends with a drug dealer. Those are facts, Jack.
Well, I know your leader calls him a thug and so forth.
Yeah, and so if he calls them a thug, they're thugs.
Yeah, well.
My leader being Jesse Lee Peterson.
That's kind of backwards thinking. And
Jesse is not my leader. Jesse's not anyone's leader.
If I call him your leader, he's your leader. Now that's that.
No.
Now how you like it?
Because you're not God. You don't know what you're talking
You're
about.
not either. Watch your own words.
Whatever.
You can't play that game with me, fella.
It's not a game.
I'm a little too smart for you.
Whatever.
But another thing, I bet you 95% of your, maybe even 99% of your audience didn't know about your history. Because they weren't in the history books and they weren't taught this. But you know, your settlers in Jamestown, they had to resort to cannibalism to survive. Did you know that?
I might have heard something like that. I don't know. Jamestown where?
Jamestown, Virginia.
Interesting. Shameful.
Yeah, they ate all the dogs and horses and cows and cats and so forth. And then they had, as a last resort, they had to resort to cannibalism.
When was this?
In about 1607.
Wow. And what's your point?
No, just point in history. Some facts that you don't know.
I heard that
like
Indians. I heard that a lot of Indian tribes did that stuff. regularly.
I don't know about Indians here in America, but over in South America they did.
Maybe we should close
like
the border.
Like you say, where Columbus landed.
And it's not because they ran out of food.
They were called, they were the Carib Indians, and that's where the Caribbean come from. They practiced cannibalism, headhunting, and so forth.
There was a liberal Muslim who hosted a show on CNN who also, according to him, ate human brains on TV. Sicko. Today.
So you know the Japanese, I think Japanese are the delicacy, eat monkey brains. Did you know that?
Monkeys are not humans.
Yeah.
This man ate human brains.
So did Jeffrey Dahmer, I bet. But that's a whole nother story.
Those were blacks. Those are black homosexuals because he was homosexual.
One was black. One was
he targeted
Asian.
blacks. Huh?
One was an Asian. The one that tried to get away and told the police and couldn't hardly speak English was an Asian.
Dang.
So forth. So stop always.
That's pretty
You
perverted.
and your paranoia about blacks. Always got to focus on black folks is the ill of everything.
No, I mean they were the victims of Jeffrey Dahmer.
There were some were victims. And he had other victims too, but you didn't know about the Asian.
I wasn't blaming the
Korean,
black. I mean, if they're homosexuals, that's wrong. But to be eaten by Jeffrey Dahmer, that's sorry, kids. that's not reflecting badly on blacks just because Jeffrey Dahmer ate you.
No. I mean, I'm just talking about that. How it always gets back to the blacks with you.
I don't know. They're very entertaining. Would I even have a show without blacks? No.
That was just what I'm about to say. You wouldn't even have a show.
Aren't you glad you exist?
If you didn't focus on blacks. That's why you can't admit you're wrong a lot of times, because you wouldn't have a show.
Whatever.
You have nothing to talk about.
You can't admit you're wrong.
You can't admit you're wrong about a lot of things you assert.
Such as?
About black folks. Do you admit you're a white racist?
No, there's no such thing.
That focus on you are superior to blacks?
The only reason I focus on blacks is because blacks are so focused on black stuff and white racism. Huh?
Do you think in the white race you're superior?
And then all the dumb whites are.
You didn't answer the question, sir.
No, of course not. That's dumb.
Yes, you do. That's why you focus on the continent.
If you knew, then why'd you ask?
I'm gonna see if you're gonna lie about it. Could you see if you can admit it? You're talking about people can't admit things.
Superior at what?
They're thinking you're superior just because you're white.
Superior in what way?
In every way.
Dumb.
Every way that you say. Whites are this.
Every way
whites
that
are
I
that. Whites that tell less lies. Whites do this.
I mean, that's just factual.
No, that's your white superiority attitude.
No, it's not superiority. It just happens to be true right now.
You don't know what's true.
Yeah, it is.
You just assert what's true, according to your biased opinion.
Okay. Anyway,
you use the word true to validate it. It has nothing to do with truth.
You say the same thing every day. What you want? I gotta go.
Yeah, get out of here, clown. See you later.
You're the clown. Bye.
Adios, amigos.
Adios. Let me get back to Russ from Virginia, who wants to be the top of the dung pile. Russ, is your phone better?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, much better. Thank you.
You said I want to be a what?
The top of the dung pile.
No, I want to be Mr. Mace. You said Mace was married, though, right?
Yes. According to her. She's put her husband, quote-unquote husband, on the line with Jesse one time. I heard it. Maybe twice.
Okay, well, I'm not going to...
And a son, I think.
That's fine. I'm not going to, I don't do that. So if she's married, I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm just saying I aspire to be like Mace.
Top of the dung pile.
Remember that? Nah, I'm not going to. Come on, man. I'm the disabled guy. How you going to talk to me like that?
Well, I mean, I've talked about Maze too like that. It's honestly, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but you guys are full of it.
We are what?
Full of it.
We're what?
Full of it.
No, we have a difference of opinion.
No, full of it.
Yeah, no, we have a difference of opinion from you. And unfortunately,
Some of these
you
things,
feel like
hold
your
on.
opinion is...
Hold on. Because you're saying, oh, it's a difference of opinion, but some of these things are not a matter of opinion, they're a matter of fact.
What is a matter of fact?
I don't know, like black immorality, out of control. It's a fact. And whites,
white immorality is not out of control?
yeah, but we're not talking about whites right here. It's a fact that black immorality is out of control. Now you want to talk about whites? Okay. Same thing. But it's slightly but in different ways.
Let's talk about that.
All right.
So, like, when a white kid can kill 4 people and not spend a minute in jail, and a black man is accused of something, and he spends 6 months in jail, then that tells you something. But you don't want to talk about that.
It doesn't tell you anything. You didn't tell me anything.
It does tell you something.
No, it doesn't.
Tells you something is wrong.
No, it doesn't.
So a white kid that kills 4 people, he kills
You didn't tell
4 people.
I know,
and he's
but
convicted.
killing is not necessarily wrong. What if it was self-defense? I don't know what case you're even talking about.
He was drunk and driving, and he killed. He was too young to drive.
Oh, you're talking about that? Talking about that supposedly rich kid who got off because he was rich or something like that? All right.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
All right.
He killed 4 people.
Yep.
He was drunk and killed 4 people. He was convicted.
Yeah.
And spent no time in jail.
How do you know that?
And
How do you know he spent no time in jail? If he was tried, he should have spent at least a little time in jail until he got bail.
He spent no time in jail.
I don't know. I don't know if you're telling me the truth. But anyways, it was wrong for him to get off. We have a corrupt court system that favors rich people. And we have a corrupt court system that favors liberals.
White people.
No, that's not true.
People.
No, it's not true. It's false.
How is that not?
We have an anti-white court system in general.
That's so full of crap.
No, it's not. Nope. Wrong. Nope.
Okay.
I don't accept anything that you're saying because whites.
Hold
on, Russ.
Because
hold on, Russ.
Well, who are you yelling at? Don't yell at me.
I'm yelling at you.
Are you out of your mind? You don't yell at me. What's wrong with you?
I yell at Maze. If you want to be as good as Maze, you better be able to take it.
I'm a grown ass man. You don't yell at me. What's wrong with you?
Hey. You can't say the A word. This is a children's show.
You're not gonna yell at me.
I'm gonna hang up on you if you don't be quiet.
I don't give a damn what you do.
You can't cuss.
You're not gonna yell at me.
Don't be cussing.
I'll do
Don't be
whatever
cussing.
I want to do. You're not going to yell at me. You treat me with respect like I'm treating you with respect.
No, you're not treating me with respect when I'm trying to talk and you won't shut up. That's not respect.
Who are you to tell me to shut up?
I'm the host.
I don't give a crap who you are.
All right, I'm going to put you on hold if you don't be quiet.
Man.
And I don't care if you don't give a C word. It's quite plain.
Whatever.
It's quite plain that Kyle Rittenhouse is in jail because he's white and because he defended himself against liberals.
He's in jail now because he broke the rules of his probation because he was caught drunk in another state or another area.
Do you even know who you're talking about? Do you know who you're talking about? I'm talking about
Who are you talking about?
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Who is that?
He's the guy who killed.
That's not who
I know, but I'm talking about in general, whites are not getting equal treatment under the law. They're getting special crimes charged against them, so-called hate crimes and things. Very selectively.
I didn't say anything about hate crimes.
I know, but I'm talking about the court.
Black people.
I know, but you said. Hold on, Russ.
So
the court system is biased against whites.
So what about the white guy, the white swimmer from Stanford that was convicted of rape that spent 90 days in county?
I don't know
Not
much about that
prison.
case. I'm sure there are
Of course you
exceptions.
don't. Of
Hold
course
on,
you
hold
don't.
on, Russ. Why are you dismissing? I'm trying to answer. I'm sure there are exceptions to the rules, right? Exceptions to the rules. But in general, whites are getting charged with crimes that they should never be charged with because they're white.
Really?
Yes.
Are you serious about
Yes.
that? You got
Because
people,
of the
you got
fake-
people that go,
because
you got
the
people that spend time in jail that aren't even convicted. You
I know,
got black
but that's
people
what
that
jail.
are
Hold on,
put
Russ.
in jail. That
Hold
are
on,
not
Russ.
even convicted.
Russ, that's what jail is for, to hold you in jail until you're convicted. If you seem like you're a threat, you seem like you're guilty, they hold you in jail, they deny you bail, or they charge a high bail that you can't pay, so that you stay in jail until you're charged, go to court. And then prison is for when you're guilty. And
Okay, so all right, so listen, and we're not
All right.
going to raise our voices. We're
no,
gonna be
I'm going to
calm.
do what I want. You can't tell me what to do. You're not my mama.
I can do whatever I
Even
yeah, I
my
can do
mom
whatever crap
can't
I
tell
want
me
to.
not to raise my voice.
I can do whatever I can do whatever I want to do. Don't tell me I can't do something. Don't disrespect me like that.
You're the one
I'm trying to be
disrespecting me,
civil
trying to
with
tell me we're going to keep our
you. No,
voices
I'm
down.
saying I said we're going to speak civilly to each
You're
other.
gonna
We're not going
speak
to raise
civilly.
our voices. That's what I said.
You're going to speak civilly.
That's what I said.
I'm going to speak how
Anyway.
I want to speak.
So how is this fair? If I'm accused of something and I'm not guilty of something, and then I'm not even charged yet, you're going to lock me up for 3 months, 6 months, whatever.
I don't want to lock
and
you
I'm
up.
not.
This is a free
but
country.
That's what happened.
Okay,
But
I'm
that's
sure
what
there.
happened.
Hold on, Russ. Blacks commit disproportionate crimes, so naturally they're going to get disproportionate
That's a bunch
attention.
of bull
Hold on.
crap. That
No,
is a
it's-
bunch of bull crap.
No, it's not.
Cops
It's not. It's a
look
fact.
at black people. Hello?
It's not BS or BC.
It is a bunch of bull crap.
No, hold on.
Cops
Let me explain.
look at
Are you going to let me
Dude, if
finish?
you-
Russ,
if you-
Russ.
No,
I'm going to
'cause
put you on
talk-
hold. I put him on hold. So, let me explain. Let me just check to make sure that he knows that he's on hold. Okay, Russ, you're on hold, okay? So, let me explain very calmly. Thank you. It is a nice shirt. Blacks commit disproportionate crimes. They get disproportionate attention from the police because of the disproportionate crimes in their communities, right? And also, they disproportionately get away with murder because in these big black cities, such as Chicago, murder clearance rate is like sometimes 25%, which means 3/4 of the people get away with it, or sometimes 17% murder clearance rate. That's when they think that they've solved the murder, right? They know who it was and all that. Maybe arrest was made or whatever. Sometimes an arrest wasn't made, but they still kind of cleared it. Murder clearance rate, very low in the black cities. That means that people getting away with murder, blacks getting away with murder, and blacks don't get justice for those murders disproportionately. All right? So those are the people who are getting away with murders. And then on top of that, blacks are also getting falsely accused of things disproportionately. And it's quite logical to know that blacks are falsely accused and falsely convicted disproportionately just as much as they are getting away with crimes disproportionately. It's just common sense. So,
Can I speak now?
yeah, you can speak now.
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Okay?
So if there's a black neighborhood and a white neighborhood, and the cops say, well, we're going to patrol the black neighborhood 100% of the time, then anybody in the white neighborhood that does something that's illegal, they get away with it, right? Because there's nobody there to patrol them, to catch them.
Correct.
So you have to look at the data that speaks on how much
But
is
you're-
being done in each area. And so
No, but look, Russ,
Russ, if you put all, I'm talking.
Hold
now,
on.
Shut up, I'm talking.
Hold on.
You're not going to talk over.
I am going to talk over you because I have the power to put you on hold. You're on hold now, Russ. Psycho. Let me just make sure that he knows he's on hold. Okay, Russ. You made a point. Now I make a counterpoint. And then you remember your next point that you wanted to get to. You said let's say that cops decide to patrol the blacks 100% of the time and the whites no percent of the time. That's not reality, but they do disproportionately do attention to the black community because of violent black crime that's out of control, Russ. Duh. Anyway, back to you.
Yeah, that's not realistic.
It is realistic. You
not.
don't care about blacks then. If you're going to pretend that black crime is not out of control.
I don't care about
you don't
blacks.
care about blacks.
I'm a black man.
You're in utter denial.
Have you ever been pulled out the car and put in handcuffs?
No.
Because somebody honked their horn at you?
Cry me a river.
I have.
Cry me
So
a
don't
river.
Tell me.
Cry me a river.
I'm not crying. What are you talking about?
Because you just tried to deny that black violent crime is out of control.
I did not say that.
Yes, you did. You said that's BS.
I know.
You said that's
never
BC.
Said that. Crime is crime. It occurs when
And it occurs more in the black communities.
Whatever.
Thank you. That means I'm right. I got to run, Russ. Nice talking with you.
Yeah, it's fine. You tell Mace I called. How about that?
She knows that. She's on the line. Take care, Russ.
Yeah,
you need to do the silent prayer.
I don't need to do anything. How about that?
That's funny.
And in January 20th, they're going to drag Trump's behind out of the White House.
We'll see. You better call and apologize if and when you're wrong.
I don't need to call and apologize to nobody. Nothing.
How about if you're wrong?
Drag his behind
How about
out.
if you end up being wrong?
How about I'm not wrong because he lost?
No, he has not lost at this point.
Whatever you want to say, you can dream and you can.
All right, I got to go, Russ. Nice talking with you. Take care.
He lost.
Take care. What a mess. Jib Jab gave a super chat and said over on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report and said, bonus dears, the cover of the week, Junior, a magazine for kids, meaning children, had Biden on the cover and the title read, Biden wins. Well, these guys are really setting themselves up to flop really hard, and I will have a front row seat with popcorn to see it. Kiki. Nice. I hope you're right, Jib Jab. We shall see. Man. LL Cool Nate says 60 ninjets if you ban Earl for the next 6 months. Dang. Is that a bribe?
Is that $6,000?
Ninjets. 60 times a ninjet is $120, guys. Takes out the taxes and take out the D-Live cut. That's like $6,000. I'm too faithful to Earl. I can't be bought. Oh, what a mess. Mo Betta Stand Up says, even non-rappers be using auto-tune these days. I think he's referring to that weirdo. Diamonds and Earls, says Mo Betta Stand Up with the diamond, and he also says, everyone must take a shot after each Earl. Marcus Jones Stinks gave a diamond and said, Hake, put Russ and Earl together. Get Skip to... I don't see the rest of it. Sorry. Arizona Lineman says, Earl, blacks are killing each other to this day.
To this day.
LL Cool Nate gave a dive and said, oh yeah, I got that one already. And he also said the 60 ninjets offer applies to Russ too. I'll just try to be more, I don't know. I got to take a break. I didn't realize I was well into the second hour. The lines are full. I will be getting to your calls. Up next will be Skip and then Maze, and then we'll go from there, guys. All you guys, hang tight. And I also will touch on some of the stuff I haven't touched on yet. Scam-demic, am I right? Scam-demic or plandemic, am I right? Hang tight, guys, for the rest of hour 2. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Yeah. Overdose deaths, according to Revolver News and KATU, rise 70% in Oregon during the Scam-demic, the pandemic. That's crazy. Trump has been talking about this too. He talked about that in the debate. President Trump, the people need to open up. They need to live their lives. But no, we want to reset. CNN said in a flashback video shared by Big League Politics and Revolver News, CNN says we can never go back to normal. That's what they meant by that great reset. Just controlling the people. And by the way, according to Revolver and Daily Mail, obesity led to the huge astronomical UK death toll. And probably it's an aging white population. Whites getting old, fat, not taking care of themselves, dying. I just wonder if they had religiously tracked, and, you know, we used to actually hear about it year after year, the flu. You know, they've been pushing to get the people to get their flu shots. Get your flu shots. They're trying to control the people with that. If they were to track the flu, how many people what would be the death toll? I hear that according to Trump, I think he said that it was supposed to be, this COVID thing was supposed to be 5 times more deadly than the flu, I think is what I heard him say. And that was preliminary numbers. I don't know if it's accurate still, if that's really accurate. But even the globalist, socialist, communist, anti-white, anti-American, anti-male, including some of these males, people are admitting this is the least deadly pandemic that we've ever had. This is like the founder of that World Economic Forum creepy guy. I saw that in this Computing Forever video. I think I shared that for you guys to check out on my channel in the community posts on youtube.com/The Hake Report. This guy, this German guy, he talks like a German. I don't know if he's really German. He's definitely evil. Kind of probably the type of German that Angela Merkel is. He said that it's the least deadly so-called virus. Am I still going live? Stream still okay? Let me just turn on Wi-Fi from my iPad, because I like to keep the Periscope going so that I can see what's going on. Just double check here. There we go. Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it. And they, bless you. What the heck? It's not a COVID sneeze. New York state sheriffs are refusing or will refuse to enforce Governor Cuomo's 10-person Thanksgiving limit. That's good. The CDC says, make Thanksgiving a picnic. Don't let anyone touch your pets. They're trying, somebody asked me if I thought that they're going to try to cancel Christmas because it's too white, or Santa Claus because he's too white, or Jesus, or whatever, because too many white Christians are supportive of it. And they'll probably use some backdoor method like, oh, it's COVID. You can't do that. Where's the Trump doll? He's over here. I don't pull him out. It's not for mine to touch. Let me get to Skip, though. Patiently waiting in Augusta, Georgia. Skip, how are you doing?
Oh, pretty good, Hank. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. You came in a little rough right there, at least at the beginning.
Is it better?
Yeah, that is. Klaus Schwab, Klaus Schwab, Swiss German NWO IG Farben type. Yeah. Evil person, apparently. It's not just Soros. Anyway, Skip, it's good to hear from you.
Yes, it's a sad day here in Augusta, Georgia today. We had 13 Mexicans died last night.
I think I've heard this joke before.
It seems that
You pulled this joke on me before. Okay, go on.
well, it seems the bunk bed collapsed, and you know
I completely
they're boycotting Walmart right now as we speak. So
because of
I don't
the
know
bunk bed collapsing.
yeah, that's what they bought at Walmart. So I don't know how it's going to turn out, but that's all right.
You told me this joke like several months ago or a year or two ago, and it completely went over my head. And somebody said Skip is a jerk for telling that joke and not letting James in that it was a joke.
It did go over your head. I do remember that.
Yeah.
But here, what's your opinion on what do you think about? I was listening to Glenn Beck this morning, and he was talking about how they're coming out with this vaccine, and they want to get it out as quickly as possible to the elderly people and the black community because it's affecting them more than it is white people.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's affecting blacks more than whites?
Well, I think that there are health habits that affect the black community more right now. I think isn't obesity higher in the black community than it is in the white community? I think blacks are fatter and less healthy in terms of, the older ones. I mean, I know that there's a lot of fit blacks, right? And their exercise is strong.
I ain't seen many fat ones around here. I live right here in the ghetto.
Are they? Yeah. But over in the ghetto, are they dying over there? Are they getting sick over there? Do you know anybody who caught the COVID? Well,
my neighbor Greenweave, I call her Greenweave because she has a green weave. Well, she alternates from green weave to red weave. Right now, she's back to green weave.
Yeah.
She, I took her to the hospital last night. I took her to the emergency room. About 7 o'clock, she wanted to go get tested for coronavirus, and which I really don't think that's what the problem is. If you want to know the truth, because the police was out here Sunday, and she was having trouble with the police, and they actually took her 3-year-old daughter and put her in let somebody watch after her for her because she ain't too fit of a mama. But
right.
I think she's just trying to. I don't know what she's trying to do with this corona thing, trying to get sympathy or whatever. But
isn't she pretty young?
Yes, she's in her early 30s, I believe.
Yeah, I'm talking about the older, fatter people. I mean, there are some fat people or overweight people. Like there was a black New York police cop who was a little fat. I think he had maybe diabetes or something, and he died of the COVID thing early on. It was reported. Yeah. And he was in his 40s, right? 45, 43, something like that. And that's young. And
that is young.
Yeah. So, but yet, he also had this other, he had the health problems that add to the, it's always in combination with that. And you don't hear them saying that. You don't hear them admitting that, the mainstream media.
So I guess what they're saying is white people are healthier than black people in general?
I think so. I think that's they're not admitting that, but that's what's going on. Yeah. And they might blame it on, they're blaming it on, I bet you, they're going to start blaming it on food deserts. Because they say, oh, there's nothing here but fast food. You can't go to a grocery store with nice produce in the black community. Yeah. They always just find a way to blame it on whites.
Yeah, there's going to be a reason. Always going to be a reason that it's whitey's fault. But when I heard Glenn Beck this morning,
yeah,
I said, let me look into it a little bit and see what I can find out.
Yeah.
And I found a couple of things. One's from the National Urban League, and the other one's from the State of Black America. Now, they're going to be biased right off the rip.
Both of those.
They said it's because of pre-existing conditions.
Okay. See?
And lack of health insurance, and and the jobs that they work are not jobs that they can work remotely from home.
Yeah. I mean, there's some truth to that, but that's like, in a sense, you can say that's their own fault. Because there's no reason for us, able-bodied human beings in America, the able-bodied ones especially, to be poor or down and out. It's because of our own choices in life, our own behavior, our own out-of-control behavior that we suffer from so-called poverty. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you what I saw this morning, and it was so ridiculous and crazy. I mean, and I saw it not once but twice. I went to my friend's house. She left the phone in the truck, and I dropped it off to her this morning. And I had to pass by this black body shop, not body shop. It's where they do body work and mechanics. But you got about 5 or 6 blacks out there standing in front, 3 on one side of the road and 3 or 4 on the other side of the road. And they got a basketball, and they're just throwing it, bouncing it on the street to each other, just bouncing it. Not working, they're not out working, not out looking for a job, but bouncing a basketball across the street to each other. And I'm like, look at this. So I dropped the phone off, and I had to pass back by them, and here they are. They're still just throwing the basketball at each other. You know, I mean, able-bodied people that could be working or at least looking for a job, and here they are throwing a basketball across the street to one another. Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I like to try to understand black people, but I don't understand them. I spent my life around them. I'll be 55 next month. Yeah. And I spent my entire life around them, but I just can't understand them, Hake. I really can't, you know?
Well, I mean, when you live a life being spoiled in a certain way, it's hard to break out of that, I think. That might be the case.
Yeah, I don't know, but why in the world would people just want to stand there and throw a basketball across the street going and bounce it?
Nothing else to do, I guess.
Block traffic had to slow down because the one time when he threw it, it bounced on the curb and come back and landed in the middle of the road. You know, what am I going to do, run over his basketball? Right. It'd been a damn killing if I would have done that. They all would have killed me if I'd done that. I'd never been able to ride down that street again.
That's wild.
Why did they blew up the basketball and killed him?
Yeah. And then there's people who think, oh, anarchy would work.
Yeah.
Anyway, I appreciate it, Skip. What? Yeah, I don't know. I can't help you to understand.
I was gonna say for the most part, things have been good here in Augusta. Good. As far as racially and everything, everything's pretty good. The South is generally a lot better than the North and out West is anyhow, you know?
Yeah, I totally believe that. I remember visiting Alabama with Jesse Lee and some of the guys here a few years ago. We saw Judge Roy Moore and some other people, and it was nice. I mean, we saw blacks working, being sensible and all that stuff. And I'm sure that there's a whole lot of senselessness, too, because it's infecting the whole country.
And it's your younger generations. It really is. Yeah. A lot of yellow blacks. I mean, they do work. And
you said yellow blacks?
You know, they're nice. Huh?
You said yellow blacks?
No, I said younger blacks.
Oh, younger
generation of blacks.
Yeah.
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 And I do sound a little bit like what's the guy you talked to yesterday? The Earl.
Richard from South Carolina.
Yeah, Richard's a nice guy. I remember you talking to him once before, and I think he's in a wheelchair or something himself too.
I forget. Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah. But look, you're doing a good job, Hake, and keep up the good work.
All right, Skip. Good to hear from you. Take care.
Good talking with you. All right, talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Let me get to Maze in Dayton, Ohio. She wants to answer why she likes calling me. Maze, thank you for holding. How are you doing?
I'm just fine, James. How are you?
I'm fine.
Oh, I like calling you because you tell people, show people how you feel. See, I don't like people that hide what they are. You show what you are.
And what am I?
And so the question, because when I got questions for Caucasians, you try to answer it, but then you won't answer it. So I have one for you today.
All right.
When it comes to white Caucasian crime, do it represent you?
Sometimes.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
In all that they do.
No, not all that they do. No.
So why do you think it should represent black people for the crimes that other people commit?
Well, the problem is, Maze, when the blacks treat.
I asked you the problem. That's why do you think, not the problem, because you can't solve it.
No, I know, but this is why they link the black crime with the black people, because black crime is way out of proportion, for one, and then the so-called innocent blacks ignore that part and then blame the whites for it. You know, the ones who are crying racism and all that stuff? They enable the black criminals by blaming the whites and the cops rather than holding the black criminals responsible for their wrong actions.
Do that
Case in point, Mike Brown, criminal. And they made him into a hero or a martyr or something. Ridiculous. Even Destiny is embarrassed.
We got to go all the way back to that. That's not what I asked you. I said, are you responsible for all the crimes that people who look like you commit?
No.
Well, then, we are not responsible for like the guy that went and shot those people in the street, walking down the street with the gun in his hand, and they put him in jail, the teenager, and the last, whatever they was having, the protest they was having.
Some black guy was shooting
people. He need to go to jail.
Right.
And you pay him, gave him money.
But nobody's, hold on, Mace. But you're fighting against a straw man argument because nobody is claiming that all blacks are responsible for that man's behavior.
You act like it.
No, I don't.
But when you all do stuff,
Mace, you are the ones acting like that man is not responsible for his actions. You just blame whites and cops.
Oh, are we supposed to ignore the things that you do as black people? We just supposed to act like it don't happen.
You're not supposed to ignore the things that we do, nor are you supposed to ignore the things that... Hold on, Mace. You're not supposed to ignore the things that black criminals do to get themselves in this kind of trouble that they get into.
That's what I said. You ignore the things that you do.
No, you're the one ignoring.
It's the same thing.
No, Mace. You're the ones, you people are the ones ignoring.
No, you people are the ones ignoring because y'all can't even admit that this man is lost president. Y'all still holding on for a string that's not going to hang down no more.
He hasn't lost yet.
He has lost.
If and when he loses, then when he concedes, I concede.
Well, that might not never be. He might lead away.
Yeah, he might win. Yeah, he might come through. He may pull it off.
So can I finish the other reason? You know, when it comes to this disease or the black community, they want to test the black community first.
Yeah.
And old people. Now, tell me, you go figure with that if you were a black person and you heard that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that. I don't trust the government.
If the world is having the same problem in the smallest country, the country with the smallest people in it, and they're dying from the disease, so how you going to turn around and tell black people that they're dying from this disease, this virus, more than anybody else? And you're looking at other countries, and they're dying too, and they're seeing people. So y'all get y'all stories together. When y'all telling us stuff, all of us don't believe this, and we just listen to it. It's like, here we go.
I'm glad.
The black community. Everything bad got to come across us, but when y'all are the one that's telling us, you look at your court system.
It's not y'all.
Look at your bank system,
it's not y'all that's the ones that's telling us. Hold on, Mace. Let me just cut in because you keep on changing the subject and moving from one thing to another.
I'm just getting away when you blame black people with West and you need brain power to understand.
No. Cut it out with your brain power. Shh.
No, that's what you need.
Put a pause on your power.
You're not using it.
Powerful woman.
So people dying.
Hold on, Mace. Hold on. Let me respond.
Okay.
I'm talking. And then she just keeps steamrolling over me like Mike Pence did Kamala Harris. Mace, black victimhood so-called leaders are also complaining that, blacks are disproportionately dying from COVID. So it's not just whites who are saying blacks are suffering from COVID disproportionately. Black leaders that you like to listen to are saying it.
Tell you that.
Huh?
The ones that act like you all and want to be like you all and
You're the one who I
think for myself.
You attack us when we attack them.
I'm not attacking you. I'm trying to understand you. I understand you, but I'm trying to get you to understand yourself. That's your problem. Y'all don't understand yourself. That's why you can't tell me.
I mean, okay, look in the mirror, Maze.
It's not only black people.
You don't understand yourself.
You hate Hispanic. Everything you hate.
Whatever.
You don't look like it.
No, you don't.
Well, yes, you do, because you talk about it every day. And on that lady that Jessica called ugly the other day, that he played her video, and he said she was an ugly woman.
Which one?
Remember that? Yesterday, I think.
I vaguely remember it. I don't remember.
When he called her ugly.
Portland?
Yeah, a woman he called ugly that he was showing some tape that she had.
Was she ugly? Oh, the woman from Lyft, the skinny woman.
I don't know where you were from, but I tell him he shouldn't be calling people ugly because he can look around his office and find some in there, too.
And doesn't mean she's not ugly.
What? I mean, he shouldn't. The ones that were laughing, they don't have no room.
Oh, yes, we do. We can laugh and then get laughed at. I don't care.
Oh, no.
I don't care.
Two twins.
Funny is funny, Mace.
Well,
funny is funny. It's her turn to get laughed at. When it's my turn to get laughed at, you can laugh at me.
But I'm saying to laugh. I'm saying the way to call somebody ugly, you need to take a look at your office first before you turn. And then they laughing
No, it's not how life works. You laugh at the person who's getting pointed at.
I'm not giving names, but I know why they're going to have a hard time finding a woman with the way they look. Both of them is
nasty.
Two of them. They can be twins.
Dang.
Pinocchios. Yeah, two of them. But anyway, as I was saying, James,
Chris says,
everything to come out, you go to
hold
the
on,
black
Mace.
community
Hold on,
first,
Mace. Chris says, I'm handsy, she's ugly, not a discussion. And he's referring to that woman from Portland.
Well, I'm referring to the people that were laughing.
Are you going to pretend that woman, and she could have done stuff to make herself prettier, but she has this wild, nasty, gray hair and has a really ugly attitude, too. She's ugly inside and out.
Well, you can find ugly people that you discuss that you love to death, and they got ugly attitudes, but you don't say that about them, do you?
Name one. Thank you.
You don't want me? I can name a whole lot of them.
We don't have time for that.
But when it comes to this election, y'all can just let it go. And if he don't concede, he just go out of the office, whatever way they take him out. He can walk out or leave or whatever. It's over. Y'all can wish, hope, and pray or whatever. Them Christians,
Maze, don't get ahead of yourself.
It's not gonna happen. What?
Don't get ahead of yourself. You're not living in reality.
Whatever happened, I am in reality.
No, you're not.
Do all that. That's not in reality.
No, reality is the election has not been called.
The election is over.
Nope, not over yet.
Because his lawyers are walking away. That should tell y'all something there, too.
They're not all walked away.
Why are y'all upset with Fox?
Have you heard?
Upset with Fox?
Have you heard? Have you heard of Sidney Powell?
No, I haven't.
She's a no-nonsense lady and a Trump lawyer, and she is not walking away. And she's more sensible than you.
It's just like Tucker had to. That's why Tucker had to apologize for the lie he said on his TV station and told. I'm saying, well, why are y'all upset?
It wasn't a lie. It was a mistake.
Y'all don't tell lies. The biggest.
What? Okay,
like,
some Mrs. Dead Person guy. She voted under his name using Mrs. his name, right? That was an honest mistake. He apologized, but it didn't discredit all the rest of the dead people who allegedly voted.
We haven't found other dead people that voted.
Yes, we have. He named a bunch of them, and only one
named a bunch. They named her. And
only one or two. Hold on. Only one or two came forward and said, "Oh, I wasn't dead," or "I voted under that name. I'm the widow."
Yeah, dead people voting. Really.
Yes.
That's how y'all do stuff.
You're really going to pretend
what I want to tell you.
Hold on. You're really going to pretend that there are a whole lot of dead people on the rolls and the Democrats are not going to take advantage of that? Of course they are, Mace. Of course they are.
I want to tell you, they didn't go back and count Lindsey Graham's vote. They didn't go back and count the other vote, the other congressman.
They don't have to because they know how he voted.
They do the recount on them, and I'm quite sure some dead people voted for them too. So if they do
Lindsey Graham is not dead.
Everybody's vote. Maybe somebody won't be sitting up in office. But as I say, when I hear the dumb people saying, well, Nancy's house, she didn't do this for her house, Nancy still have the house. If Nancy didn't have the house, they could say that.
Isn't Nancy Pelosi disgusting?
The liberals and the conservatives. Y'all just lost step with each other. But you still haven't told me why you hate Fox now. Why do y'all hate Fox?
We don't hate Fox. Well, those of us who have hate in our heart, yeah, we hate them. But Fox News has turned on the country and betrayed the country.
Oh, that's what they did.
Many of them did. Yeah.
Next, I won't be surprised.
They've become kind of. They've started to try to kiss up to the liberals.
But y'all love them so much. See, I tell you,
no, we never.
People.
I don't know anybody here who ever loved Fox so much. We appreciate them for what they did right, and we criticize them for what they do evil.
Well, I'm just sitting here waiting for the day.
Hold on, Mace. They support the LGBTQ madness and the feminism and all that stuff. They're wrong for that. And they're kissing up to pretend that Joe Biden is president-elect just because they think so.
Y'all, bitch, up because y'all don't want it. And eventually y'all going to turn on the one y'all hope that y'all call him whatever, 45. Eventually y'all going to be turning on him, too. I'm just waiting for the day to see y'all do that because y'all turn on people. When he say what y'all don't like, then y'all going to turn on him. It's going to happen. Get ready.
It's okay because you have no loyalty whatsoever.
Okay?
I don't know.
Just say country
Maybe that's
first.
unfair. Whatever,
y'all-
Maze.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
with the evil hearts need to get it together.
Goodbye,
and
Maze.
realize that a new president is coming into for fruition in another month.
Wishful
and a
thinking.
half. Yes.
Take
But
care,
get ready.
Maze.
It's not gonna work.
Goodbye,
And don't do
Maze. I gotta go. She won't listen. I say goodbye like 3 times. Sooner or later, you can't just wait for the "you have a good day." Am I right? Gee. Don't compare Earl, Russ. Russ is disturbed, says Jordanos. She likes Earl. Jordanos. Mo Betta stand-up gave a Ninjagini and said COVID equals imaginary numbers manipulated by banker tribe who controls the World Health Organization, which is the UN, evil, corrupt, and global lying press. Interesting. He also gave a Ninjagini and said, nobody catches the normal flu anymore. They have too much fun with this op to allow it to fade away. Hey, Maze and Russ, Trump is still your president, says Fluky Unicorn. Eat that one. The Reverend Chad Kroger, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, says, we know that Hake and JLP love Trudeau. What? Jesse loves Trudeau, but he doesn't support the evil of him. I don't know if I love Trudeau. All right, let me get to, hold on, let me check. Streamlabs. Thank you for the Streamlabs supporters, streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. As you know, YouTube demonetized me and they gave me 2 strikes, hanging by a thread. Let me get to Carl in Tennessee. He wants to talk about Jeffrey Dahmer. Carl, how are you?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm fine. What's up?
All right. Yeah, I'll just mention Dahmer quickly because what I really want to do at this point after hearing the last few callers is talk about this communist revolution that's been going on in this country over the last few years, or really the last 4 years, really hardcore. But about Dahmer, so I'm not, sure if you're aware or not, but Dahmer, whenever he was a teenager, went on a class trip to Washington, D.C., and he actually bragged to his friends that he could get them a tour of the White House. And he goes to a payphone and makes a phone call, and this is all documented, and he gets him and his classmates a tour of the vice president's office. Now, where I'm going with this is Dahmer was a combat medic in the United States Army. And there's a couple of authors out there. One of them is passed away. His name is David McGowan. And he wrote a book called,
let's move on. You can send me the tip on this another time, Carl.
Okay, well, this is great information.
Okay, yeah, send it to me. I don't want to be promoting other stuff that I don't even know anything about.
Okay, well, this is just about the serial killer landscape in the United States of America and how it was actually funded by the Phoenix
email.
program.
By the what program?
Which was a military operation.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Carl.
So let's just say for a moment that Trump is on the side of the American people, which I would really like to believe. Okay, I would really like to believe that.
Then how come you jump to conclusions about him?
Well, just let me finish my point. So, but this is about more than Trump. What we're seeing in the nation now is about your rights and mine as given to us by the Lord God, as stated in the founding documents of this country. Okay, and this communist revolution that we've seen by the left is absolutely evil. Have you ever heard of the 3 red banners?
No.
Okay, the 3 red banners was the communist slogan of the Chinese Party in the 1950s. If you look at the Biden logo, the letter E, it's got the 3 red lines. Those are the 3 red banners. And they put their meaning and their intention of their evil in the Biden logo itself. These people are evil, wicked communists, okay, and they must be stopped. And if Trump is on the side of the American people, the last thing that he should do is not concede, but he should not come out of the White House. He should institute whatever military orders that he can institute and stop these people. What these people are trying to do is take over this nation completely and take it from the American people and hand it over to the devil, and this must be stopped. And this evil mockingbird media that has been on the CIA's payroll from at least the 1970s, the mainstream media, is the enemy. Okay,
yeah, they are.
And these people must be, yes, these people must be stopped.
But I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Stick in reality, and because the reality is, it's not called. Trump may pull it off, and he's doing the right thing at this point.
Right. Well, there's nothing to pull off. We all know that there was a mass voter fraud. This Dominion software is pretty much confirmed now.
Right.
I mean, this was a mass voter fraud, and there's no argument
this lady,
about this.
This lady, Sidney Powell, seems like an honest lady. That's for sure. Anyway, appreciate it, Carl. Good to hear from you. Make sure you send me that info. Send me that info that way, because I don't like putting out stuff that I have no idea about.
Just one more quick thing, and then I'll hang up. So Amy Coney Barrett and Kavanaugh, the two justices that Trump appointed in his term, were actually on the Bush legal team in 2000 that won him the election in court. Did you know that?
I did not. Interesting.
Yes, it is. All right, take care.
You too, Carl. Very knowledgeable guy. He knows all of his symbolism stuff. Reverend Chad Kroger says Trudeau eats adrenochrome and something else that's disgusting that I will not repeat. Allegedly, according to him. And adrenochrome is something to do with blood or something like that. It's I don't know, something gross. But it is out there. That's what they say. I gotta get to adrenaline-fueled blood harvested from the young, says Nick. Maybe I shouldn't repeat the word, because the way you describe that, it sounds gross. Okay, Mary in San Antonio, Texas. Mary, thank you for holding. How are you doing?
You're looking great as usual. I love it. I love your show. Yesterday, I got to make a plug for yesterday. If people didn't listen to yesterday's show, it was great. I'm sorry I had to catch it late, but people should go back and listen to you if they didn't catch you, in the morning.
Cool.
Listen, I kind of agree with that guy before me, but not 100% totally. I am worried about Trump and the fact that yesterday, that other guy that spoke about how, not that Trump was an Manchurian candidate, but it makes you wonder why he goes so wishy-washy back and forth on the COVID-19 84 vaccine. I mean,
yeah,
it's worrisome because is he pushing it so strongly? I mean, we know that all the biggies, pharma, core, government, everything, tech is against him. The New World Order is attacking him from every side. We know that. So how can he comply? And Fauciism, it makes me want to puke every time they give him the mic.
Right.
And I don't understand how he can just say, look, you people are strong, you people are liberated and free. You don't have to do what they tell you. And they keep telling us you have to do this.
Right.
And then another thing they do is like that idiot from California, whatever state he was, he went, you do as I say, not as I do. And that's what they're doing, too.
Is that Gavin Newsom?
Yes.
Yeah, the governor.
And people are still following him and will still vote for him. It is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yes, there was protest and they were upset, but that doesn't mean they wouldn't vote for him.
Right.
So,
Trump, he takes the drugs. Like he was taking, not adrenochrome. He was taking that stuff that is also found in fish tank cleaner that he was allowed to. Regeneron. He was taking Regeneron and some other things. So he doesn't mind taking those things, and he wants the right to try, right? The right for people to try and take the vaccine if they want it. But he's not for the forced vaccines. He even tweeted back in 2013, oh yeah, hydroxychloroquine. He tweeted in 2013 his suspicions about these vaccines And, he thinks or thought back then that it may be linked to autism. And people say, oh, no, there's proof that it's not from autism, it's whatever. But, that there's a lot of reason not to trust every single one of these vaccines that they're putting out, and whether it's COVID or not COVID. You know what I mean? So
yes,
there are you are right that the whole rest of the government, and the corporations and the mainstream media and the establishment social media all want to force you to vaccinate, and that's disgusting. They want to do all kinds of mess. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's big money. Billions and billions of dollars are getting rich right now as we speak.
That's
all
true,
of it
too.
Is going into the hands of the evil side.
It's not just money. It's also like this female-minded, not your type of mind, but the female-minded control freak type liberals who want to just tell you what to do. This is just a mob of nasty people who want to control you. And I'm talking about the dumb idiots on Twitter even.
The Canadian election, it makes you want to puke. I said, what makes you think that women, what do you think they're doing to our world right now? What makes you think that they can run it any better?
I know.
That's a good question. But
yeah.
Everybody thinks it's the most wonderful thing that ever happened. Just like that new judge, that they just elected.
Amy Barrett?
Yeah. And what makes you think that she's going to be any good for us? She already proved right now, even in the last month, that she wasn't going to be worth a darn to us.
I know.
So anyway, the other thing that I wanted to say was that on Earl and Meg, sometimes they disrespect you, and when you're the holder of the, you're the guy in charge. I don't know. I don't like the way you could just say, shut up, I'm putting
right.
on hold. I don't think that they have the right to do that, because he really sounded nasty, a couple of them. And I'm thinking, hey, I might say something, and you might not like it, but you have the right to tell me so, and you can shut me down. But,
yeah.
The other thing is, you're doing great, and I love your show, and I was trying to send you more money, but I couldn't figure out the lemon thing. Anyway,
no worries. Appreciate it.
Okay, keep up the good work, and I love your show. And the other thing about the electoral college. Look, everybody's saying everywhere you go, everywhere you see that Trump is done, but we should pray, get on our knees, and hope and pray that at the end, even if they can't prove the big, fat, ugly fraud, which it is, maybe, just maybe, it'll move the electoral college, even though they'll probably threaten their lives of the people who will judge at the end in January or put in their votes, the electoral college, that maybe they'll see through the scam. Maybe, and we just got to keep hope.
We'll see.
It's getting mighty thin. I don't know. I'm getting very, very worried. But we need to keep praying.
Yeah, and don't worry.
For our country.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
God
Take
bless
care.
y'all.
You as well. Very nice. Appreciate that, Mary. Obama said, according to Vox, which is a far-left enemy of America outlet, but so is Obama, the internet is the single biggest threat to our democracy. He once loved the internet. You remember, somebody pointed out on Twitter, I think I retweeted it, that back in 2008 or whatever, the Obama campaign mobilized the internet, people through the internet, right? And data and all that stuff to win the election. And then Trump does it, and all of a sudden they want to crack down and do censorship and all that madness. It might have been Michael Tracy who said that. I forget. But that's true. They're trying to just, some dumb Google employee or YouTube employee, I think it was a Google, said, we don't want another 2016 to happen again. And they made sure, or trying to make sure. It's not over yet, right? It's sick people. And I got this link from Revolver News. President Obama gears up to push for internet censorship through puppet Joe Biden. That's assuming Joe Biden gets in. That's sick. By the way, I mentioned Dominion. I mentioned it in Hake News before I get back to calls. Hang tight, guys. Dominion voting systems or whatever, they were part of that council that put out that ridiculous statement saying the November 3rd election was the most secure in history, and there is zero evidence that votes were switched or lost or changed or anything. And they were they're in bed with the DHS. They're part of the council that advises and that put out that very statement. And then they cited it as evidence. See, even the government says we did things right, even though they're part of the government. Creepy, huh? Dominion. And then Dominion confirms, according to the Epoch Times, where I also got that prior story, a Clinton Foundation donation and a Pelosi staffer link. They're linked to some Pelosi staffer. And they got a donation from the Clinton Foundation. And you hear all the time, like Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, Fakebook, he donated like billions, or millions anyways, I think, of dollars toward so-called voter efforts to get more useful idiots to vote Democrat. That's all it is. And he helped push that forward.us, FWD.us, which is some organization back in years ago to push amnesty, the Gang of Eight amnesty thing with John McCain and all them. That was the Facebook guy. These are evil people. Fake social media. Sick. Let me get to Jason from Long Island, New York. He wants to ask me a question about why I keep dealing with Russ. Jason, how are you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Fine. What's up?
Yeah, you read my question, like, why do you keep dealing with this type of people, like Earl, Mace, I don't know, Russ?
Yeah.
You're just going in circles with these people, like, and they disrespect you and, and stuff.
I like talking with them, actually. I mean, I might get carried away for sure. I understand that. And I could definitely maybe stand to cut back a bit. So I don't know exactly what that is. Maybe it's just I get carried away.
You're too white.
I'm too white, yeah. I get carried away. But
yeah, you're too nice.
Dang. Yeah, that cuts to the heart, Jason. But
I mean,
yeah,
it's true. You just need to hang up on them, like, sometimes.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I think that's a fair statement. Some of the time, you guys, I don't know about you, but some of the time people, and this has been going on for years, there were longtime listeners of the Jesse Lee Peterson show. People would just get so fed up with Maze, right? In that sense, some people, like some of the listeners, need to be patient, have patience. And because a lot of people have no patience for listening to idiots that they disagree with, such as Maze. Sorry, Maze, to call you an idiot, but it's true. So I think everybody could stand to check themselves. Not you necessarily, but some of the people who lack patience for these blind black old callers, and me for being too much of a pushover maybe sometimes and getting carried away with arguments that are unnecessary. And they themselves certainly need to check themselves, those ridiculous callers. So, fair point, man. I appreciate that call, Jason. Anything else?
Oh, yeah. One more question. I want to read the Bible. What type of Bible should I get? The King James Version one?
You can get that one. I'm not a big Bible version fiend. I grew up on one that I'm told now is liberal and awful, and I kind of believe it. The NIV, right? Like when I was a kid, my mother got me the NIV. I was probably like 7 years old. That's the New International Version, and it's written by liberals, and it translates by thought rather than by words and statements. So, and they may put words that are not right. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend the NIV, even though I was used to it. I don't necessarily do that King James only things. I don't hold it against you guys necessarily, those of you who do, but some of you guys are a little too overboard, or you have the wrong idea about some things sometimes, about the King James Version. They say that the NASB is pretty good, I've heard. One guy say that the New American Standard Bible, is pretty good. I don't know for sure. They also say the English Standard Version. So just get one. Maybe just get one that you seem to like. Don't get any of the newfangled ones though.
Sure.
You can get the
Thank
King.
You
You can get the King James. You can get it, or the new King James. It's a little easier. But
yeah, I'll go the King James, man.
All right. Yeah, and then you can just look up on the internet for a more readable version, because sometimes it's written in a way that people may think they know what it means or have no idea what it means because it's using words that people don't use. So.
Oh,
yeah.
and another thing, we need another hour, like 3 hours.
Dang.
It's like a 4 hour.
A 3-hour Hake report. Well, I appreciate
Yeah.
the request, Jason. Thank you for the support,
Okay.
man.
Yeah, okay. See ya.
All right. Take care. I got to get to Trick in Montana. He's been waiting on hold. Wants to talk about the future of South Africa in the last couple of minutes here. I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of you guys. Trick, how are you doing?
Big Jim Hake. I'm doing well in Montana. And, I guess I have a question for you. And at the same time, it's maybe a predictive statement on my part. Because I've listened to Uncle Jesse and you talk about South Africa, and I know the mainstream media doesn't talk about it. And I have a friend over there that did work in humanitarian military work, and I know it's a disaster. My question for you is this, and then I'll make my predictive statement. Is it significant to the global economy if Johannesburg falls? Will it affect us, or will it affect Western economies?
That's an interesting question. I think it's evil if that happens. It's a bad reflection on the rest of us since like people in America were crying bloody murder over apartheid, and then they don't say anything about what's the absolute destruction that's going on now against whites and against blacks too.
Sure.
So I think it reflects very badly on us since we are prone to meddle in the affairs of the world, for us to just turn our eyes away from this, especially after Trump gave notice to Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to look into it, and haven't heard a word since. What the heck? So I think that it will be, I don't know how it will affect the economy. I don't know. But it is evil to let that country go down in flames and not say a word about it. The truth needs to be told. The mainstream media is hiding the truth. They're evil both here and there. And it's disgusting. Yeah.
Well, good. My predictive statement is that it's going to fall, and if it does, it's going to send ripple effects everywhere in a bad way.
Interesting.
So, we'll see. I'm glad you guys watch it, and I watch it fairly closely.
Yeah.
And
I hear that China's buying up a lot of stuff over there. Is it China?
Yeah. They're all over there. Yeah, they're going to apply some pretty severe discipline, to say the least. But yeah, if Johannesburg goes down, it's just something for a show like you to watch, because I know you report on things that other people don't, and that if it goes down, it could be bad news for all the Western economies. So that's my statement. And the other thing is the election's definitely corrupt. The Dominion thing is ugly, but I do think
and they're not the only ones.
Yeah. No, for sure. So everyone strap up. Hey, by the way, I love Mays and Earl. I think they're just wild. I love listening to them.
Okay, cool. Appreciate the feedback. Thank you, Trick. It's good to hear from you. Take care, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you to Mo Betta Stand Up, LL Cool Nate, the _ Rev Chad Kroger with underscores in between those. Appreciate all the support, guys. As well as Fluky Unicorn, Ragnar 0321, nice. J Fox, FAWKES, Psylocked, Marcus Jones Stinks, Cactus Eater Bear, Sky Racer. Thank you guys. That's cool. And Mo Betta Stand Up gave a diamond and said 2015 Russ election fraud. What, Russian election fraud maybe? 2020 election fraud, impossible. Yeah, good point. These people are such liars and phonies. Thank you, guys. TheHakeReport.com for my stuff. JesseLeePeterson.com for Jesse's stuff. Take care, guys. See you tomorrow.